Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I have the Marvel Legends Superior Spider-Man. I know I'm a little late to the game. I've had a huge backlog of figures to unbox. I just haven't had the time or the energy, but I'm slowly picking away at it. So you'll see this when you see it, I guess. But yeah, I'm so excited about this figure because I adore not only the storyline, but this costume specifically. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. And I think in figure form, it looks even better, honestly. So I'm very, very happy about it. Starting with this beautiful packaging, I adore this new 85th anniversary style packaging. I don't know if it's going to be the new thing going forward. I don't know if they're permanently making this a change. So far, a lot of the figures I've bought recently have been in this packaging because they've all been 85th anniversary figures. So I don't know if this is like a thing that they're doing or if it's just for this run. But if it is a thing that they're doing, that's props. That's very good because this is awesome. I love this packaging style. I think it looks fantastic and it works across the board. It works for 2-packs. It works for your deluxe figures. It just works. So I'm very happy with this. And then of course you have the window here showing you the figure and everything you get. The nice Superior Spider-Man words right here in case you weren't sure who you were buying. Marvel down here at the bottom. I do love this black and gold kind of aesthetic they have going on here. On the side of the box, you do have a side window, which I've never understood the side window. I'd rather just some artwork here than a side window. What's the point? So I can see not a great look at the figure. I don't get it. On the back of the box, you have this nice artwork here of Superior Spider-Man. It almost looks like, specifically in this artwork, it looks like Peter Parker's daughter who becomes Spider-Girl later on in the comics. I don't know much about her. I distinctly have a memory of going inside of Hastings and like walking around their comics section, and I saw like a manga of Spider-Girl. And like I kind of like read the back of it to get the little synopsis of it. And I just remember her costume kind of looking like this. In a vague sense. You have that same artwork down here on the side of the packaging, and now we're back to the front so we can transition to the figure. Okay, so this is pretty much all you get. I had to do something interesting with the pose here. I mean, I was given the opportunity with all that I was given, so but you can't really see him well. I couldn't really pose him like that. Well, I guess I could have, but it looks a little wonky. I don't know. But you could do cool things with this, with these arms. They're just a little weak, so they can't hold up his weight that well. If I spent like an hour trying to pose him or get the pose right, I probably could have pulled something off. But I do have multiple videos to record, so let's just find a decent pose and then move on to the next thing, right? So we'll have him stand over there while I talk about all the other accessories. So I guess starting with these tendrils here, you do have these cool little spider legs, if I can get them to focus on that. So it comes in this little backpack that you just kind of plug into the back of the character. So he has these holes right here. You just plug them in like so. Just like so. There you go. And then you have an alternate one that doesn't have the holes in it. So if you don't want the legs out, you could just plug this in and it'll just sit on his back. But each tendril is articulated the same way. You have a point right here, point right there, point right there, point right there. Significantly better than the Iron Spider legs. Those were disappointing, to say the least. But these are very cool. They're just not very strong, and honestly, the joints are a little weak. I had to give this guy a fig bath just because every time I tried to bend a joint, it felt like it was going to break. Now that I've loosened things up a bit, it feels a lot better, but I was a little worried things were, even on the figure itself, I was worried things were about to snap off, but this thing's really, really cool. You can pose it in a lot of different ways if you want to make it look like he's attacking or holding him up or wrapping around or just anything. really, if you wanted to, and it looks absolutely stunning. So there is that there. And then, of course, you have alternate hands and heads. So let's get those in the picture. Starting with two Thwip hands, your typical old Thwip hands. These are fairly standard among all Spider-Man figures. These look absolutely wonderful. I love these Thwip hands. Two fist hands, which are, again, fairly typical across any figure. You'll have hands that look just like these. These have the nice little red padding. Same with the Thwip hands. They have the padding on the palms, so they look very nice. The ones that are on the figure are the kind of like hands. I'll show you once I go over the figure. Then you have this cool head sculpt here. Now, some people might be asking why we need two masked heads. Well, the reason why is they attempted something a little bit interesting with this head sculpt. They painted lenses, like reflections on the lenses, and it sounded cool when they talked about it. I'm trying to get it to focus on the lenses here. It's like focusing on my hands. It sounded cool when they talked about it, but seeing it in person, I don't know if the effect is honestly that noticeable. It just kind of looks like random lines. It's supposed to look like New York City in a way. It's supposed to look like the cityscape in his lenses because Superior Spider-Man had apparently much more reflective lenses than the Spider-Man typically does. But I'm not seeing New York here in these lenses. It does look fine. It's cool as an alternate head sculpt. It's just probably not going to be the one I use on the figure. The one on the figure is your more standard, typical Spider-Man head sculpt with just white lenses. And this one looks very, very good. Now, what I love about this Superior Spider-Man design is the webbing looks really, really stunning. All the thin lines, they look much more like an accurate spider web. It's not as sleek. It's not as what's the word? It starts with an S, where things kind of run up parallel to each other. It's not quite that, but it looks great. It looks exactly like actual webbing, and I think that was a really, really smart design choice. And then the other cool design choice is the spider taking over the rest of his suit. So you have the red here, and then the spider just kind of takes over the rest, and it looks absolutely stunning. Up until the shoes, you have this nice red point here, and then the red heel looking fantastic. And then, of course, the red palms. Love, love, love the design here. You also have web gauntlets. I'm not quite sure why he has the gauntlets. I didn't read a ton of Superior Spider-Man. I read I read Ends of the Earth, basically the storyline that not introduced Superior Spider-Man, but it was like the storyline that put Doc Ock into Peter's mind and body. And then I read a couple like smaller stories here and there. I didn't read the entire run, so I don't know exactly why he has the gauntlets. The issues I read never explained the gauntlets here, but they do look nice as gauntlets. They kind of remind me of Shocker's gauntlets on the Shocker action figure, because they would kind of wrap around the arms pretty much the exact same way. These ones have like a red dot at the end. I don't know why. Again, I don't know why the gauntlets exist. Maybe it has something to do with I don't know, him wanting better webs, potentially. He was a genius, so he's probably coming up with 1,000 reasons or 1,000 updates to the Spider-Man power set and everything like that. His neck is really thick. I never noticed that. I wonder if it's to compensate for these holes right here. But his neck is super thick, and I thought it was just the pose I had his head in, because I was trying to like get his head to look straight up a bit more. I thought maybe that was the reason why, but no, his neck is just really thick, and it kind of looks a little goofy, especially the more up you make his head look. My camera's having a hard time focusing on the figure. 1 second. Looking forward, it doesn't look bad, but from the side, it's got that thickness to it. But I digress. So that is the design. Let's go over articulation. You do have this nice disc on his neck here, so it does help with articulation. Going back, his head does kind of pop off if I go too far, and his chin kind of pokes down. I'm trying to figure out how to fix that, but his chin just kind of tucks into his neck there, and it looks a little goofy. But you do have that nice articulation there. Rotates all the way around like so. Slight wiggle because it's on a ball, but nothing significant. I wouldn't even really say it has head wiggle. Arms come up to about right there, which is fine. Rotates all the way around like so. Butterfly joints come back to about there. Comes forward to about there. Let's see. Did I do the swivel? I think I did. Double jointed elbows. Pinless. Goes up to about right there. Wrist goes in. Wrist goes out. Wrist goes all the way around like so. You do have your standard old-fashioned style or ab articulation, which is a little disappointing. I do prefer the diaphragm cut up high, along with a smaller version of this. I think that combo works really well, especially on figures like Spider-Man. But this one's fine too. This one served us well for many, many years while we had it. So I'm not knocking this one. It's just sometimes it looks a little more wonky, especially when you swivel side to side like that. So, but it does go back really far. That's absurd, honestly, and it looks a little goofy. And it goes forward super far too. Really, really deep articulation. But you do have the wonkiness here and there. So it's give and take with these types of articulations, I suppose. If you add the legs on into it, he can bend to about right there, which is about what we get with our current like diaphragm cut. Like I just did a Venom unboxing / review. Got the same situation going on here. It just doesn't have this awkward bump right here. So, you know, I think it's a significantly better style of articulation. He does rotate all the way around like so. Legs come up to about right there. You can do the splits fairly well. I think, yeah, these are drop-down style hips, so they can drop down to about right there, which is adding something. I don't know. I don't think Spider-Man's the character that needs drop-down style hips. I think drop-down style hips are nice, but they should only be reserved for bigger style characters because it helps those figures get their legs up a little bit better. We do have a swivel at the thigh. Double jointed knees comes up to about right there. Swivel at the calf, rotates all the way around like so. Ankle goes down, ankle goes... Ooh, I'm caught. Where am I caught? Ankle goes up, and we have toe hinge. I do like the toe hinge, especially on Spider-Man figures. I wish the Venom had a toe hinge, but he does not. But that is the Superior Spider-Man figure, and this is an absolutely wonderful figure. It's as good as I wanted it to be, if not better. The only thing that could have made it better was the ab articulation, and that's really about it. That's the only thing it's lacking. But it does have this kind of smaller Spider-Man style, the Spider-Man body, that's a little bit skinnier, and I kind of prefer that because I prefer my Spider-Man to be a little bit skinnier. The bulkier, more muscular Spider-Man doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me because he is a character who needs to be more agile. He's not really one to, like, he'll use his fists, but he's more like trying to stop you than to hurt you. So it doesn't really make sense for him to be in that kind of fighter body style. He should be slender. He should be sleek. He should be petite in a way. Skinny and tall. That's my ideal Spider-Man. And that's what this body style is. So that's one upside. We do lose the diaphragm cut. That's one downside. So you got your wins and your losses with this guy. And I think he is an absolutely spectacular Superior Spider-Man. And for basically the same price as a regular action figure, I remember only paying like $24 for him. This deal is absolutely amazing compared to what I got for the Iron Spider. That was supposed to be a deluxe figure, and it came with worse arms and less accessories. This one comes with 2 heads, a whole handful of hands, and these fantastic arms. I don't see any reason why anyone would buy that Iron Spider figure, except for the fact that we just didn't know any better at the time. We thought, well, that's as good as it gets. No, it gets better. Case in point. So this is the Superior Spider-Man. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Leave a like, leave a comment, leave a subscribe. And I will be back in another video, hopefully. I'm trying to pose him in a cool pose, and I don't think it's working. I will be back, hopefully, very, very soon. It's like protecting him, I guess. It's like a web ball, but with arms. I don't know. Bye.